Hello everyone, welcome back to my craft room. My name is Whitney Lucas with Crafty Thoughts Whatnots, and today we are going to turn a candle holder or an old used store-bought candle holder into a floral holder or something like that. So, Bath & Body candles. This one's old because I have way too many of them. I haven't bought any of these. Usually you can get these like 2 for $20 when they go on sale. But this is a much older one. You know, the 3-wick candles you can get from Bath & Body. I was a habitual saver of these glass jars. I don't know why. I had like 4 or 5 of them. Couldn't tell you why I was doing it. Once I was done burning them down, we would put them in the freezer, get the wax out. Then I'd work on the little glue that's in there to get the wick off, take the labels off, and you end up with something like this. And you're like, what can I do with this? I don't know if this is particularly food safe or not. Would I put it in the kitchen after you put it through the dishwasher? Doesn't smell like candle anymore. Who knows what to do with it? So I had like 4 or 5 of them. So what we do now is, with my small issue of never being able to find these at the Dollar Tree, I bought a case of them. So now I have 36 of these. I win. Domino. Anyways, the best part is that everybody's doing these tiered trays. Everybody's doing these different candle holders on pedestals. Again, I have a candlestick obsession. I have admitted that many times. I don't have a problem with admitting I love making candlestick arrangements. So basically anything on a pedestal, I'm going to stick flowers and ribbon in and it's going to make me happy. So why not take an empty, I had 4 or 5, actually I had exactly 4 of these as I'm looking down right now. I had 4 of these. Why don't you take one of these and put them on here and turn that, that could be a candle holder on its own. You don't have to put any glue or stuff in it, but how about we do this and turn it into this. That's chalk paint, by the way. This is an even older Bath & Body, because as you can see with time, things get smaller. Like this one actually fits inside this, but this is an old, really old Bath & Body 3-wick candle glass jar. That's what they look like now. Actually, now they're a lot, I don't know, they're different or not, because I haven't bought them for a few years. That's how many I had. I had a lot of coupons and I did a lot of stuff there, guys. But also, you could save the lids off of these Bath & Body candles and turn that into like a little cupcake tray. Look how cute that is. You know, E6000 that, then spray paint it, chalk paint it. I don't chalk paint it, but spray paint that, and then you got a cute little one-tiered tray, like a little cupcake stand. Also, the lids on these things are all different. This is a very, very old one from many years ago. Also, it smells amazing. But any event, so basically E6000 and hot glued them together, let it wait, I painted it, chalk painted it, and then I got a little bit more creative and I did this with this one. So I took 2 of my pedestals and I put one right side up and the other one upside down. And this is all glued together with E6000 and hot glue, mostly E6000. This is cured for a few days because I did this a few days ago so you guys could see. And so here's another one that's just regular clear glass so you can see what it looks like before you paint it. Then I painted this guy here. And then so I have one extra one here. I don't really need to put that together if you guys can see. You basically put E6000 around it in spaces, then hot glue in spaces, set it down, and leave it alone. Don't paint it until it's cured. I did one, actually this one exactly. And it fell apart while I was painting it because I didn't use enough hot glue. Hot glue doesn't really stick with glass anyway, so it didn't really work. So on this one, kind of just try to have the patience. I know it's easier said than done because I personally had no patience, and that's why that one fell apart when I was painting it. But if you don't have your 3-wick candles, if you don't own any of these, now they don't have to be Bath & Body either. You can get 3-wick, these little 3-wick candles come from Walmart, Target, pretty much anywhere you can find a jarred candle. Once it's empty, if you have them, if you're a candle lover, clean them out. I like to basically put the bottom, it's just the little wax is left. I put that in the freezer, the wax shrinks, pops out. Then you can work on, if there's a lot of glue stuck to the bottom where that little metal piece of the wick is. Some of them don't have them, some of them do. And then just clean off your glass and you've got a little holder. Or, alternative is, if you don't have any of those, you've got jars that come in your kitchen. This is probably either salsa or hearts of palm. Don't know. I like both. They both come in jars for me. One or the other. So take the label off, save it. Open up this buddy. Then you do the same exact thing. Glue that on there. Now, some of the other... Yeah, that was hard to palm. Because I could smell it. It's so horrible. Yeah, that's gross. Anyways, Whitney. So... this is just an example. I grabbed this out of my recycling. I'm not actually going to turn it into anything, but there's nothing says that you can't. So vinegar, clean it out, make it, some salsa ones are a little bit bigger, but you can find glass jars at the grocery store. Eat whatever's in there. If you don't like it, it still might be cheaper than buying a $22 or $10 candle. But you have the option of getting a small glass container, whether it's at the grocery store or not. Now, if you want to cover this up, we can put some twine around it. You can do... burlap around it. You can tie some things around it. You are never going to put any real candles in anything that we make, because I always put florals or ribbon or something around it, and that is flammable, which means danger. No. LED candles only, guys. LED candles only. Or what I want to do today is put some pretty florals in here. So I was just going to paint one of them for you, just so you guys could see me paint it. I don't know if that's interesting or not. And then the construction's fairly easy. I think I'll put this last one together so you guys can see it. And then I'm not going to paint them all on camera because that's just way too boring and time consuming, and it makes you want to sit in the corner and cry and eat your hair. I get you. I get you. And then this last little guy here I'm throwing in because this is a mason, or a ball mason jar. That this is my drinks. These are my cups from my kitchen. This is what we drink: our water, tea, soda, milk, you name it, out of this. My husband was drinking out of these a couple nights ago, and there's a chip on it, right in here on the lip, kind of like right where you would drink from. It's a pretty decent chip in there. So he's like, "Well, we could probably get rid of it, right?" I said, "Oh no, you're going to give that to me, and I'm going to paint on it, and then I'm going to put something pretty in it." So same thing here. This came from my kitchen. It has a chip on it. You can't safely drink out of this anymore because of that chip on it. So I'm going to put florals in it. Also, look how stinking cute that is. Even everything looks good on a pedestal now. That's because I have 36 of them. I'm kidding. But even then, this is cute. So I have some greenery. I have some florals. I have some leftover florals from a hoop wreath I made for one of my friends as an order. I'm going to make an arrangement of this guy from it. I want to probably distress this a little bit, see what happens to the glass. I already put some foam in there. That's Dollar Tree foam. So is this. I cut this one down to fit. That's a Dollar Tree block. But we have a lot of decent options here. So I've got a 2-tiered one. 3 is ridiculous because, trust me, I put it together and I tried. It's ridiculous. And then we got this one here, the 1-tier. And then nothing says that you can't put these other ones together. If you look down here, I've got 2 other ones here. This one's not put together, but this one is. That are basically the same. And you could always put LED candles in these. Put a little bit of sand on the bottom, LED candles in these, and put these on your table. Again, this one I can paint. This one I can't yet because I haven't put that together just yet. But that's basically our options. I've got some greenery. I've got a few little remnants of things that I've already made and thrown together. So I could just make this like a little stash buster type thing. Let's just see what we can make, see what we can put together. You guys want to join? Let's see. 1 second and we'll get back and we'll start painting. Okay guys, so I cleared everything off. I'm going to glue this one together so you can see how it was done. You've probably seen this a million times, but let's just, throw it in here for fun. Take the tag off your Dollar Tree candlestick. Okay. And so what I'll do, I'm going to uncap my E6000. Okay. And if you see here, this has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is 8 sides? 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 sides here. So I'm going to put E6000 on 4. By the way, sorry, I'm reusing a glove. This is the glove I used when I made my snowman tin can hat because I've ran out of gloves and I cannot find my other bag of gloves. Believe it or not, I've lost a bag of gloves. Anyways, that's why there's black paint all over this gun. So I got 8 sides on this top of this holder. So 4 of them I'm putting E6000 and 4 of them I'm going to put hot glue. Okay, so uncap this natural disaster that is E6000. Like, why is it always so hard to get this stuff to stop oozing? You know what I mean? I just wish they do better with their packaging. So I'm going to put a dab here and a dab here. It's super messy too and sloppy, which is why I'm painting it after. So I got lots of dabs of that all over that. Capping it back up. Now this is the one where I want to work a little bit faster. So hot glue here. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. And eyeball it as best as you can. And squish that down. You know, you don't have much time with the hot glue, so just work as fast as you can. And that's it. You can see it's all squishy and it kind of blobbed out. Now leave that way and don't touch it. And then after a couple, I mean, I think the E6000 is what, like 24 hours? This stuff is not moving on this. This one I glued, this was probably like a week or 2 ago I did this one. And then this guy here, I had to make sure I've definitely cured it because that one had a lot of glue here in the middle and then a lot of glue here at the top on the bottom. So you can see inside there, all the glue around the edge of that. I had to make sure that was good and saturated so that they don't fall apart. Because my goal, obviously, is, you know, these need to be a little bit sturdy. They are glass, so you still have to be careful with them. They can fall apart. They can get knocked over, and that can cause issues. So I have to make sure this is the one that I'm waiting on, and I'm putting that off to the side. I'm not touching that for a day or 2. And so we can get started painting. All I'm doing is putting a regular coat of chalk paint on them and then letting that dry. We're not touching it after that. So I'm going to just turn these upside down and kind of work on them upside down for a second. That way I can get the bottom of these maybe and see if I can just kind of work on it like that. I think that would be better. And I can flip it over and finish it. I mean, they're probably both going to need a couple coats of everything. This one sure did take a couple coats of everything. But that's really all I'm doing is just taking my white, this is Folk Art brand chalk paint, by the way. I got a large jar, as you can see. I got that off of Amazon because I couldn't find Waverly for the longest time. I know everybody that I was, you know, all these different channels I was watching, everybody was using Waverly, and I'm like, okay, let me go to Walmart. Even Walmart online is like, nope, sorry, we don't have anything for you. Kind of hurt my feelings, I have to say. So in any event, I'm going to flip that back up, and then now just start twisting it. Putting that coat on there, that first coat. It is going to need 2, maybe 3 coats. Depends on what you plan to do on it. On this one, I want to use a black distressing. I want to try to do that enamel stuff everybody does, or at least just put like a black dry brush technique on it. See what happens with it that way. That's my idea, at least. But you can definitely see the brush strokes in it, which I kind of like, which is part of, you know, the appeal of the chalk paint for me, and the reason why I'm using a paintbrush instead of a chalk paintbrush. I want to be able to see those paint strokes in it. For the parts that don't get distressed by either, you know, paint or antique wax or dry brushing or anything else like that, I want to be able to see that stuff. Alright, that's good enough for now. Let that one sit. Let's start on this guy here. And I'm basically just doing the difficult part here, which is like mainly getting in the grooves of all this all the way around here. Laying it on just a little bit thick. see what's the best way to hold this one. I'm going to do this one this way until I just need to do the stem, then I'll stand it up. This one just a tiny bit more awkward just because of the double candlesticks I have on it. And also, these can be treated the same way as I was suggesting the candlestick. So you put the styrofoam in there with just a minimal amount of glue on the bottom. Obviously, it needs to be able to stay, you know, in one spot. So you're going to want to keep the glue light if you want to make it repurposable. You know, if you want to just be able to switch out the arrangements you're putting in here, for sure you're going to want to just put a little bit of glue on some styrofoam and then no glue on any of your flowers. And you can pull your flowers out and periodically change out your flowers and ribbon for seasons and stuff. And then once your styrofoam's been through too much and it's just, you know, it's got too many holes, just not reusable, you've only got a small amount of glue in there to minimally have to just pop out what's left of the styrofoam and then just replace it with a new block. And with the little blocks that you can get at the Dollar Tree for $1, they're the perfect size. You really aren't really looking at too much of an inconvenience in price to replace them. It's not too bad. Also depends on how often you replace things and how many flowers you're putting in there, the type of styrofoam, all that good stuff. There really shouldn't be that big of a problem because, again, Dollar Tree has that stuff super cheap. So that's one coat on both of these guys. You can see a lot of streaks in it. I believe on this girl here, I did 2 coats, which you can't see through any of it now. But this is only 1 coat, so you've got a lot of streaks. You've got a lot of, you know, pieces under here. You can see that you can see through. You got to like dab that on, get that to dry. So I'm gonna properly let this dry and then process more. I'll put 2 more coats on it, and then when I come back, we will we're gonna use a black dry brush on this to see if I can get enamel or something to come. Well, I don't know. We'll see what comes with that. I want to use black on that. And then on my mason jar that I've already done, I want to try to distress it with some of the antique wax, the Waverly antique wax we're going to use. I want to see if I can just, you know, because we want to get that ball symbol, you know, the ball mason jar made in the USA. I want that to pop out and then see how we can make that one look a little aged, cute little aged farmhouse mason jar. So I'll be back with all the paint already done and dry, guys. Just 1 second. Okay, guys, those other ones are drying off to the sides over here, and we are going to start with, let's do dry brush in black on this one here and see what happens to it. Let's just see what happens. Dry brush meaning don't put too much out, Whitney. Let me see. I'm just going to drop a little bit right there. Okay. Take that off there like that. Let's cap it. And see what happens. Alright, so let's see. I'm just lightly going at it first because I don't want to put too much on there. But if you can see there, it's kind of just, it picks up the, and highlights definitely the dark parts. It's not really looking like enamel, it's just looking like a aged I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm going to do more around the edge up top here. And then a couple parts get a good amount on like the bottom. And then some like periodically in the middle. And then like I like on here, I got a big chunk on this part of the stem, but then over here I don't. So I'm going to kind of accentuate that, put more on it right there. And then over here we'll do a little bit more. And then I think that's it. No, that's not enamel. That's just worn. I don't know what you'd call that. That's definitely not enamel. Enamel looks a lot different. I'll have to probably watch some videos and stuff and try to pick that up on a different day, possibly. But I like how that looks. I like the weathered look. I'm really liking it. Like the paint's definitely worn off underneath. I'm loving every second of that. I love that. And again, any color, guys, use like mineral, which is like that putty color, or like looks almost like pewter almost. Or use the antique wax like we're gonna do next on this guy here. The possibilities are pretty. I wouldn't say endless, but there are very many. So I'm just scooping up that blob of paint we didn't use and putting it back in my jar here. And let's move on. Put that there. Put that girl there. So now with my jar here, what I want to do is I'm going to keep a baby wipe close, because with the wax you can really smear it and make it your own. So with the wax, I want to do is kind of distress it more in some areas than others. Mostly a lot more around the bottom. But then also I can kind of smear some of it away. This is just a paper towel I'm using to smear the wax. I'm literally just turning the whole thing brown. I don't know that what I did even looks good at all, guys. It kind of looked weird. So, go in hard and see what happens. It just looks like a mess, guys. How can I fix this? I'm putting stuff all over it everywhere. Just kind of gonna do one of these things here, and then I'm gonna dry brush. I'm gonna dry brush some white back over it. Let's see if I can get that to maybe turn up some of the stuff. I'll turn up in the little way that I want it to. Let's see what happens here. I don't know how I feel about that, guys. That just looks sloppy. It just looks sloppy and irky. It looks icky. I don't like it at all. So let me take a sand brush, a sanding block to it. 1 second. Let's grab a sanding block. Now, I'm worried about this only because there's nothing underneath there, and it's clear glass, so you'll be able to see the styrofoam inside there, but let's see what happens. Well, I like what it's doing to the label on it. I mean, that looks kind of cool, doesn't it? Yeah, let's put black on it. The black seems to be doing a lot better. Check that out. Maybe I was just using the wrong brush, because this black is looking way better on it as a dry brush than the wax and the... That looks kind of cool now. So, we'll just say that this has been through a horrible accident. This is a very dirty jar. So dirty. For your... Not for hot product. For your refreshment, not for hot product or home canning use. Make the handle super dark. I'm gonna make it darker in some spots than others. So concentrate more on one spot, concentrate more on one spot. That I seem to be good at, see? Darker, darker. Oh, well, that turned out now that I put the black on it. I like it a lot better. And I didn't have to pull more black paint out. I just used what was still on the brush. Alright, so I like that a lot. It's weird, but I like it. Actually, I don't mind the brown behind it too. So one of those things, guys, it just kind of turned out that way. So let me clear all this out, clean up my brushes, and we'll be back and we'll start putting some goodies in these guys. Okay guys, so now what we're going to do is just add some goodies into our little painted cup and candle holder. So this one is literally remnants. I had this out in my living room for some years in different containers and stuff, and then I brought it in here when I started changing decorations. So this is a very expensive hydrangea I got at Michael's many years ago, probably like 10 years ago. I think I paid I don't know, I paid a lot. Let's put it that way. I paid a lot. Especially for my budget at the time, because this is an old flower. But this was part of my home decor for many years, and I'm definitely not letting her go. So this one's now going to be the new focal point of my new mason jar. So we're going to reuse it. And this right here is just a long piece of foam that I had at Dollar Tree. I cut down the sides and I just pushed it down in there. I didn't glue it. It's not coming out unless I pull it out specifically and destroy it. And this is that softer foam. This one's more of that styrofoam from Dollar Tree. This is that softer foam stuff. This is definitely not Oasis foam, so this isn't the stuff you soak and get wet. You don't use this, but this is some sort of softer floral foam, but it's not Oasis foam. So I'm just going to put her in here like that and just start that off down like that. And I don't know how hot glue works with this stuff, but lots of smoke is coming out of my skillet. So let's just put that in there that way. See what happens, okay? All right, so far, that's what we're working with. I want to push it down a little bit further. There we go. So a little bit further. There we go. Maybe push it more towards the side. So that's really my first line of greenery. Now this is off of stems. This is off of a bush, and I really like the leaves on it. So I'm going to push these in and add these in as my greenery for this guy. I really like the way these look in here. And I kind of want to keep them sort of as the focus, maybe not so intensely prominent. So I'm probably going to need to grab some greenery from another area real quick, because I mean, these are kind of tall and there is a lot of green that's happening from them. You see here, I got a decent amount of green popping out of there now. And then this bow is this bow, as you can see, an accident happened with this bow. I got a little cut, got a little chopped up. I'll put put this one in the back here. But what I'm going to need to do is probably grab some cream flowers. I'm looking at them, but I can't really reach them at the moment. So give me 1 second. Yeah, I can't reach those. 1 second, guys. I'm going to go grab some of these flowers I can't live without. They must be in my project. Alrighty, so this is a bundle from Michael's that I had just laying off to the side there. It didn't have a home, so let's make it have its own home. So I'm going to just start putting those in around the bottom. Kind of push those in pretty far. Have a couple come up a little bit higher. You see there? One's down low, one's up high. And then I'm going to sprinkle these throughout the back and the sides. And this is more or less going to just kind of maybe hide a little bit of the extra pieces we don't really want showing too much. I'm going to put the bow down here in the front right, so I don't need to really focus too much on all that on that side. So I'm just going to pop this buddy in there like that. And again, this isn't too much Christmas, but nothing says you can't put some pine or some other greenery in here. You could put a poinsettia at the top of this. Of course, that's going to end up being something that you remove later on, that kind of dealio. Okay, make that one a little bit taller on this side. Pop that one right there, and only push that one in a little bit because I want this one to have some height right here when you kind of pop up on that side. Put the bow there. So do I need to hide anything here? Yeah, I'm gonna pop this last one in here right up front. And this one kind of just gets a little bit hidden underneath the hydrangea there, but it still kind of shows just a little bit. And we're going to put a bow right here. So now you can see here, this bow has seen better days. I had made this and put it in a project that didn't work out. You guys didn't all see that. Trust me, you don't want to see it. So this is attached to this in a couple different spots. Let me just see if I can pull it up. The hot glue doesn't seem to... This is Dollar Tree ribbon and this is Costco ribbon. I can tell you that. I know that for sure. So only a few spots here. I can reuse this for sure. And now I took the wire out of this. So what I'm going to do is kind of try to use the existing loops that I had, maybe. Kind of hide that one around that one like that. I'm just trying to find the, you know, the spaces to where I can hide the gathers on it. And since there's no wire in it anymore, that's going to drape out that side. It's going to look gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to take a pipe cleaner. That's black. I don't want to use black. Okay. Sorry, guys. Excuse me. I'm going to take a pipe cleaner. This is just like half of a beige one I have. Twist that around those pieces. Now, remember, you can use anything, guys. That bow, I saved that bow, and then when I tried to deconstruct it, I forgot that I used hot glue on it. I was like, what were you thinking, Whitney? So I saved it because I didn't want to throw it out. it needs love too. Now this piece back here can get cut off because that's just horrid. And that's the piece, that's some of the piece I was hiding. Okay. Kind of have a little dab of glue there. See if I can get that stuck on there so it doesn't fall off too much. This is probably what I did the first time, just to get this ribbon to kind of stay in one spot. Maybe do that again because that piece isn't coming off. Okay, so I don't know if that's going to reach. Will that reach down right there? Oh yeah, it sure will. So I'm going to stuff it right into this corner right here. So I'm just going to put some hot, I'm not going to use a steel pick. I'm just going to put hot glue on the end of that pipe cleaner that I have wrapped around it. So I got a decent amount on there, see that? And then I'm going to tuck that right in the edge and push it down as far in as I can get it to go. Okay, now just take your loops and kind of try to adjust them, get other pieces that are sticking out in different directions to kind of go one way or the other. This one's a little bit too long, so I'm just going to cut it off right there. The other ones are kind of hanging in a decent way. It's kind of pretty. I like it. It's just, you know, thrown together from remnants, and it turned out pretty good. What do you guys think? So this is our little mason jar with some leftover ribbon that I saved from a tragic ribbon accident. Stems that I saved, and I only had to cut into a new bush of flowers about 3 times. So that's that one down. I think that one turned out great. I like it. Now this girl here, guys. Okay, so we can pan out later, and then I'll show you guys more shots of that. Of course, there'll be pictures at the end also. So we'll stick that off to the side there. Okay. Now this girl here, if you guys remember these, I did a hoop wreath. I did a hoop wreath for a friend that ordered a Christmas wreath. She wanted it holiday. Now she didn't ask for holiday, you know, flowers per se, like poinsettias or anything like that. She wanted greens, and that's how she was doing her house for Christmas. So I had these beautiful, I don't know, this is not a peony. I think this is a ranunculus. I don't know what this is, but these are gorgeous. But I initially bought too many and then cut them down. And if you watch that video, you'll see I didn't use all of the flowers. I only used 3 instead of 5. So I'm going to use these in this pretty girl, and we're going to make a pretty arrangement because basically all the stuff I have is greens and buffalo check with cream flowers. So this will actually last me even outside of Christmas into the, you know, holiday New Year. So this little bundle of berries came out of a pack of pumpkins from Hobby Lobby that I got on clearance this year, and they just so happened to be the perfect color. Now they were a very short stick, so you can see here that I took a stem from another bush or pick or flower, and I used some floral tape here in a neutral color. Okay, so that floral tape is sticking that on there. There's also a little bit of glue in there, but that's how we're going to put this in this arrangement because that was too short. So I've got these 2 guys here, and then I got some pine here on the side of me. But again, I'm not absolutely sure I'm going to use it only because I have a decent amount. I got some Walmart boxwood. I've got some Hobby Lobby. I think this isn't rosemary. Maybe this is thyme. This was in their greenery aisle. Actually, here's the bundle, right? Just like that from Hobby Lobby. That's what that looks like. So I got one of those. I got one of those broken apart. And let's just see how full we can pop this. Otherwise, we will stick some pine in there. So first things first, I have just a little bit of moss left over. I actually already have a bow made too. These are the ribbons that I used these two ribbons in her, this cream one and this green was in her wreath that I made for my friend. But then I was messing around and I just used some pieces that were cut off, and I actually was able to make this bow out of all the remnants. So this pretty girl is going to go in on the side as well. But I do want to put the last little bit of Spanish moss that I have right on top of here. That's literally all I have. Everything left in here is that stuff that literally just fell off of it. So that's going to finally go in the garbage. And so that little bundle there I was saving. And I just use a couple floral pins. And I just put that in there. No glue. We're going to put enough glue through this with the pins. This is a floral pin, you guys. It's a U-shaped pin you get in the floral department of any craft store. It's good for use in artificial and real flowers. That's why they are called floral pins. So that just adds that little bit of, you know, fresh look to it, even though we know it's not a real flower. We are just going to go with it and have fun. So some of these greenery pieces I have already cut up. All right, there's one of these little thyme bundles I had already cut up. And then I need to cut this short so that I can put that in there. So I'm going to cut that off right about there. Now, see how nice that is? I'm saving that for another project. I might come across another bundle of berries that needs saving. So let's see if we just work that in there. Just like that. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the ends of these here. Kind of pop those in, lefter and righter. Just putting a few pieces of greenery here and there before I pop in these two flowers, because they're going to be our main event. And I have a pine cone also left over. So let's just pop in some greenery pieces and see where we can go from here. It's kind of like what I'm doing my wreaths. Sometimes I'll just do all the greenery first, just because it helps out with placement of larger items. And these little flowers here are definitely going to be our main events. So I'm going to leave these off to the side. Now these stems were already cut because I had them in the hoop wreath. So I'm sort of dealing with a limited amount of stem here. So that's part of my concern, is I don't want them to disappear. So there's that one. That one's only going in pretty shallow. This is the longer stem of the two. Okay. And so now this pretty girl, I'm going to cut this one even shorter, believe it or not. I'm also going to cut it at a diagonal, so it kind of puts its own little sharp piece to it. And I'm going to put that on this side here. So we got the taller one on this side, and we will have a shorter one on this side. Beautiful, beautiful. I gotta make sure I can find that again. I'm just making sure I can still find. There we go. Okay. There's that one, there's that glue. Berries on here. I'm actually going to cut these berries off on this side here, because we're going to put greenery in. It's going to hide it, and then I can use these in the bow. So do you see, I just cut that off from that piece because on this side here, we're going to place some more greenery and it's just going to hide it down there. So there's no point in wasting good greenery. Let's see if we got a couple more pieces of greenery. I kind of want to pop a couple pieces of this rubbery pine in. Now this is off of a pine bush that I got at Michael's a few years ago. It's nothing like, it's just a rubber one. It's not necessarily rubber or plastic, however you want to say it. It's not necessarily a certain kind of pine, or like the more artificial pine that we're all used to seeing. Oh, sorry guys, I bumped my camera. I need to get the pick machine out though, because these don't have stems on them after I pull them off. And again, we're working with a smaller vessel, and we don't want it to be too crazy overpowering, but I am going to put 4 of them in. So what I need to do is just kind of pop one here and there, and see, just that different piece of greenery just adds something to it. It just says, something about adding all kinds of greenery together, regardless if they exist in nature together or not, it just speaks to me. And I love greens, I love greenery, I love the forest, I love all kinds of stuff like that, and I can't say no to it. I like how that kind of pops out like that. Let's see if I can, oh, yep, that one's perfect right there, right in the middle, up top. And I love mixing greens. I like mixing all kinds of weird things together. See, this one popping out right here is really pretty too. I mean, so far we're working out. It's working out pretty good. I want to put the bow right here. I'm going to kind of pop that in just like that. So what I need to do is, same as I've done before, I need to put a pipe cleaner around here. And we need to create a pick out of our bow. So, bow's kind of on the large side, but it'll work perfect just right there. So I'm going to cut my pipe cleaner in half. That's actually a really ugly green color, but we're going to hide it. So I have this put together with the zip tie. So I'm just going to wrap the pipe cleaner around the zip tie that I had, and then just keep twisting. I'm going to cut that off. And I'm putting my steel pick on the end of that piece that I twisted. Okay. So essentially we've just turned our bow into a pick, and I'm going to nestle it right in that little empty spot right there. So I'm going to load it up with a decent amount of glue, and then just push it right down in there, right down in the center, as deep as I can get it. And then let it sit for a minute, because once I start tugging on it to try to you know, fluff the bow and get the loops looking cute, and then I have to take a look at the tails if I need to cut the tails or anything. I need that to cure. Sorry, oh geez, sorry guys. I need that to cure so that I can actually see what I'm doing, and not pull the bow completely out and then just ruin the whole thing. We don't want to do that. But in the meantime, I can put this pretty pine cone pick in there. This pick is from Hobby Lobby. I got it this year in that wreath that I had made for my friend. In that video, you could see. I added two pine cones. Now, unfortunately, I thought I bought 4 in an even amount, but apparently I only bought 3. No problem. No harm, no foul. So let's put some glue around here. Let's cut this off first, and then what I want to do is I want to nestle it kind of just like that. Let me see how that looks. Oh, I love that. That looks so cute, just like that. So let's see if I can find the placement of that after I load the stem up with glue. Yeah, look how cute that is. It's perfect. She's perfect. Okay, so I'm going to guess that my bow is maneuverable. I'm going to pull my cream loops down. Sorry guys, all I'm doing here is I'm just kind of moving these loops around and getting them kind of situated in a way that's kind of pretty. And what I'm going to do is take this guy here, I think that looks good, just like that, nestled right in the middle of that right there. So let's just dab some glue on her, right there on the end, just like so, and then place that right there in the middle of the bow. I actually need to dovetail this end. I haven't dovetailed this one at all. Yeah, the green ribbon never got dovetailed. So I'll get one shorter than the other. Buffalo check is already dovetailed, looking good. Save that there. And then I can put a couple of these little greenery pieces, kind of tuck them in to the bow. Let me peek it. I'm going to see if I can place some of the, yeah, that looks good there. Some of the, that Walmart boxwood kind of inside the bow a little bit. Just nestle it in a few places. I'd actually turn that into a pretty decent pick, which I can use on the other side. Let me pull this one off and pick that off. I have just a few pieces of things, which is why I kind of want to use them. I don't want them to go to waste or sit somewhere else in another jar or bin. Okay, so there's our bow side. Got two flowers there. Okay, that looks good right there. And now I'm just filling holes. It's not like it's a hole that you can see down into the styrofoam, because remember we covered it with moss. I'm just kind of taking things and I'm placing them in filler spots. Spots that you know are empty, or spots that you know could use just a little love. And then pulling the flower out. The flower petals are easily manipulated, and sometimes while you're putting things in, they get tucked under. So I'm just pulling the petals out from under the bottom of that flower. Getting some more greenery here. I'm going to stick another piece of this guy over here, possibly. Okay, that one is a little bit too rubbery, too malleable. So I need to add a steel pick to it. Sorry, I keep bumping the camera, guys. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. And same thing Now that one is on there, but if you look here, it didn't get properly pressed down, so I do that for it, and then I test it. Yep, it's on there good. Got my buffalo check in there. Got my greens, and these cream flowers are gorgeous. So really only leftover I have is just one stem of this, I guess this is thyme off of this little bush here. That's what I'm looking at. This is it. I'm very happy. She's super pretty. Let me just take one more peek. See if there's anything else I want to add or change or mess with. Let's take a peek here. Looking good, looking good. Again, just all these little extra pieces here of little stems and bushes and berries and things from other projects. Left over from another project was that pine cone, but I think it really makes the piece. I really do. I'm really happy with it. All right, guys, let me clean up this real quick, and then we'll be right back and we'll say goodbye. Okay, guys, so cleaned off the table. Here's our other girls that we painted. They're completely dry, and they are beautiful. So I will probably do this same technique on them so that all three of them match. Now, this is a permanent display because I hot glued all that in, but nothing says that I can't do a greenery display in these two, and then you have a set of, different tiered candle set, you could say, but then I'm going to be putting greenery in them. So I could do, greenery and lemons for the holidays, and then, just take out anything you could possibly think of. And then whatever you're changing your decor to, you've got your own little pieces of, I wouldn't say traveling, I was going to say traveling, of interchangeable decor pieces. So again, put the a little smaller amount of glue inside there, and then don't glue in any of your greenery. And you can change this out with the season, the holiday. Tie different little ribbons around here. Don't glue them, but just tie them around the little necks of the candle holders, and your options are endless. So first one here is our random mason jar, as you can see here. Looks super dirty. I love it. It's one of those things where I tried something and this is just what happened, and I kind of like it. I like how the black is heavier in some places than others, and it actually made that look a lot better even after I tried sanding it. You guys saw the sanding didn't work, but our random little mason jar with some extras. Now again, this isn't really holiday, and I know this is a video putting out at Christmas time, but every time you put something together and you see little remnants and you have little things left over, just throw them together, and if they make you happy, then you got something you can put out once Christmas is over. You want to put out just some holiday stuff. Nothing says that if this is your decor and this matches, throw it out. Whatever makes you happy, right? Life is short. Buy the chalk paint. So I gave new life to my little hydrangea that I'd had out in my living room for years. And then also a chipped mason jar cup that we can no longer drink out of. So again, didn't have to throw it away, didn't want to recycle it. Instead I recycled it and made it something pretty. So now we have our pretty little girl here. And then this girl, this is our Bath & Body candle holder. So from this, we now have this. So, I mean, again, I like the black accent on it. It kind of ties in a little bit with my black and white buffalo check ribbon I stuck in here. And then these leftover flowers from the Christmas wreath I made for my friend that wanted a custom piece. Again, little tiny remnants. Now, the greenery bushes I had already cut apart. They weren't necessarily leftovers. I had just cut them apart and hadn't used them. So technically, yes, it's a leftover, but at that point, I still consider it new stock. So I grabbed all those because I'd already had them cut. Little pieces from extra pumpkins that I bought, leftover from another project, leftovers. But again, all brand new. Now, again, this ribbon, this disastrous ribbon, turned out great, and I didn't have to throw her away. This ribbon I had already made. Sorry guys, I made it off camera, but I have so many videos, and I want to make a separate just bow video since I know this is the time of year. I just really hope I can get to it sometimes. This YouTube thing doesn't really go as I plan. Every day seems like a good day, and then some days it's just not. But I do want to do some sort of bow tutorial if that's what you guys are interested in. You guys tell me in the comments. But so from a Bath and Body candle to a beautiful little display for the holidays, or any day for that matter. This doesn't scream Christmas either. Now again, remember I live where there's pine cones year round, so I would leave that in year round in my home. I think it looks beautiful. So you guys tell me what you think. I love them. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Thanks for spending your time with me and your interest in my channel. I appreciate every single one of you more than you could possibly know, more than I could express in words. So thank you so much for everything. You guys take care of yourselves. Happy crafting, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.